Hi student, it's Kate here. So come back to the last video for the problem 6.24. Now we are preparing the cash budget and calculate the amount of loan or the bank credit that we have to make. So for the cash budget, you know that any cash budget will include the cash receipt, cash payment, and cash available. Okay, so we also have, in the case where the company has the minimum cash balance, they also have to think about how much the cash that they have after the operating activities, and then how much of the cash that they fall short of and or excess the minimum cash balance. In case they do not meet the cash minimum requirement, they have to make a bank credit. So the interest that they pay depends on how much of money that they owe the bank. So before we calculate the interest, we have to calculate, we have to know how much we owe the bank, okay? So firstly, we just transfer the amount of cash receipt and cash payment from the cash receipt and the cash disbursement that we just done for the last two videos. So in here, you see all figures here. I simply transfer from the total cash receipt in here, okay, and total cash disbursement here. So I just transfer from the sales bowl, so you can stop the video here and make the transfer yourself. And then the cash available is equal the cash receipt minus the cash payment. Okay, so you can stop the video here and do all the things up to this stage, and then come back. We will do the rest. Okay, so the interest on loan, you know that the current opening loan balance is 150,000, and from here we can calculate the interest by taking the loan balance and then we times the interest rate per year. So in here I just transfer the interest rate and then we divide it by 4, because here that is for 1 quarter. Okay, so that is $2,063. So the excess cash, so you see that the cash available is this, and then we also have to pay the interest, so that'll be minus this one. So that means we have they have more loss, right? So if they have some excess cash, then they have to pay the balance. However, because here they got negative cash, so they cannot pay, and also they have to bring the balance back to 100,000. So remember that the opening cash balance is already 100,000. They cannot make any loss here. They cannot have any decrease in cash, because if they have any decrease in cash, they will not be able to maintain the minimum cash balance of 100,000. So in this case, because they have negative 487,000, they will have to borrow that much to top up, so bring the cash, the change of cash as 0. So I just take minus this one, okay? So now the increase or decrease in cash will be 0, because that's no change in the cash, okay? So this is just equal the sum of this one and this one. So now, in order to know how much we have to pay next quarter, we have to know how much we borrow the loan at the end of March. So we have to have some information about the opening loan balance, any additional borrowing or repayment that we have made during the year, during the period, and the ending loan balance. So in here you see that we have borrowed this much. Okay, so the total loan that we owe the bank now is the sum of these two. Okay, now given the cash account, we have the opening cash balance of 100,000. That is the minimum cash they have to keep, right? Increase or decrease in cash is 0, so this comes from here. So the ending cash balance would be the sum of these two amount. The minimum cash balance, as we know, they have the minimum cash balance of 100,000. So basically, do they make any excess cash? No, because if you take the ending cash balance and minus the minimum cash balance, we have 0. Okay, now what do we do here? We transfer the minimum, the ending cash balance from here to here. Why? Because the ending cash balance of March is opening cash balance of April. How do we calculate the interest on loan here? We need to know how much we are owing the bank, and that is this amount. Okay, so in order to calculate the interest on loan here, you take the ending loan balance of the first quarter and you times the interest rate per year and divided by 4. Okay, so in here you see that they have made some profit during the second quarter. So the excess cash they have is this amount minus this amount. Okay, and now because now they have excess cash, they have to repay the bank. And what do they repay? They will have to repay everything because they are owning more than they have. So they just take this repayment minus this one. Okay, so the increase or decrease in cash, again, you take the sum of this. That is 0. So basically we earn 255,486, but we have to repay the bank everything because we are owning more than $600,000. And the opening loan balance of April is the ending loan balance of March. And then we make the repayment of 255,000. So now the loan that we owe the bank is sum of these two figures. Okay, now the amount of money that we owe the bank has reduced, but still the increase or decrease in cash, we have nothing because we pay everything we earn. So the ending cash balance is the sum of these two figures again, and it's still 100,000. And because the minimum cash balance is 100,000, we have the excess cash of nothing. Okay, it's pretty bad. Now again, to calculate the interest on loan for July to September, we base on the amount of money that we owe the bank, and we know that that will be the ending loan balance for the last quarter, and we times the interest rate per year divided by 4. Again, this period we make some profit, and then we have to repay the interest, and we have to repay the loan as well. We repay everything, and then again we have no increase in cash. Now the loan opening loan balance is this, which is ending loan balance last period. We make some repayment. Okay, so again for this quarter the amount of loan we take from the bank has reduced. The opening cash balance is the same as ending cash balance last quarter. We haven't made any increase in cash. Alright, so again we still have 100,000 in the bank account. Alright, and then excess cash 0. Now you can know what we'll do here. The interest on loan, we take the balance here 126,000 something times the interest rate and divided by 4. But again, this period they don't do very well, so this minus this, they have minus, and because they have negative cash, so they have to borrow to top up, because remember now they only have 100,000 in their bank account and they cannot make it fall below this minimum requirement level. So any loss has to be made up by borrowing the top up. So basically they will have to borrow this much as well. So now the increase in cash again equals 0. The opening loan is this, but they borrow some more at the end of quarter, and now the ending loan balance has increased. Alright, sad. Okay, now the opening cash balance is 100,000. The increase in cash is 0. So the ending cash balance is still 100,000 and minimum cash balance. So again, they have no excess cash. So from here you can make the total. So you have the sum okay. You copy this, you paste all the way through, paste. Okay, so in here the opening loan balance for the whole period, you will not add them up, but that will be the opening loan balance is this. Okay. The borrowing will be the sum. And then the ending balance is this. Because remember, for the whole period from January until December, the opening balance of this period is opening balance in January. And the ending balance of this period is the ending balance in December. So basically, you cannot add all of this line as ending balance because it's not true. Thinking about that as the whole period, okay? But if you add this and this, you get this figure. So you see, that is the sum of all of the period because we borrow and then we repay and then we borrow. So they just neutralize each other. So you have the ending loan balance is 300,085,227. The opening cash is this 100,000, and then the ending cash balance is same here. I take the ending balance of the last quarter, and you can have here is the sum of all cash increase and cash decrease. And you see that they follow the same rules. If I take the opening cash balance in January plus all the increase and decrease during the year, I have the ending cash balance at the end of December. And that is just the same because they haven't made any excess cash. Okay, so that is everything for problem 6.24. I hope that you are with me from the beginning until now and you do understand how to prepare the budgets. Okay, thank you very much and I'll see you next video. Bye.